So my life was impacted by Restoring Your Heart because it helped me to connect the dots. And what I mean by that is it helped me to connect the dots between my theology and my emotions. I guess it connected the head to the heart. And sometimes we understand certain things about God or the Bible, but we don't always know how to apply them in our lives. And even sometimes when we're applying them in our lives, we're unsuccessful at it. And we struggle with some of the same things over and over, and we build these unhealthy patterns in life. So when I started taking the processing pain class and understanding emotions, they helped me to see how these unhealthy patterns were part of negative thinking and unhealthy behaviors that I had inherited or developed from my family of origin or my upbringing. And then once you start to recognize these patterns, you can begin to work alongside the Holy Spirit in healing. Really embrace God or embrace what you believe about God, and it starts to help you feel more, shall I say, accepted or loved by God. And once you start to feel that, then you can start recognizing and correcting some of the unhealthy behaviors.
What was an unhealthy behavior that you had?
I would say me being distant, being emotionally closed or shut off. And, there are several reasons for that I now know. And even in my marriage, I think I was pretty, especially in the beginning, emotionally closed and shut off. And now I can see those patterns and understand why, and begin to love my wife the way she deserves to be loved.
Would you agree with that, Regina?
I can definitely see a difference in our connection since he went through the process. I had a lot of emotional baggage from my childhood and a lot of different things that I just had not processed. And I didn't even know that I needed to process them. I thought that I was totally fine handling my life the way, I was handling it. But I didn't realize that, just like Siafa, I was emotionally shut off in certain areas. I was callous in certain areas. And I was just hurt about things, And so going through the process helped me unearth a lot of stuff and just comb through it. And really, I feel like doing that helped me offer those areas to God. I thought that I had opened my life up to God. I was a Christian at a young age, became a Christian, and I had went through the WGA discipleship classes, and I have been a part of things like that, programs like that my whole life. But there were pains that I hadn't dealt with. I didn't know how to take them to God because I didn't have the emotional vocabulary to say, Lord, help me with this issue, or help me, I have a problem with trust. I have a problem with connection. I really feel rejected. I really feel like this. I didn't have the words to pray. So going through the process, it really just opened my heart up to God and actually increased my faith, because now I believe that there is no area that God can't touch, that he can't work things out and grow you and love you. So in turn, I feel more loved by God, and it helps me to love my children and my husband better.
You keep people at arm's reach. When you're kind of emotionally closed off, you don't let people in. So what it has done for me, it's helped me to empathize. And now I can see other people's hurt. And at the core, I know a big deal for people is being seen. People just want to be seen. So someone may say something to you where in the past it's, oh, really? Oh, okay. And that's it. Where now I can say, man, sorry to hear that. I hate that you had to go through that. And maybe you could even say, hey, but if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. Whereas I would have never done that before. Where now I guess I could say I see people, and it's helped me to see in that way.
One of the things that stands out to me is, I guess I lived my life in a bubble before this, and I thought I was the only one going through what I was going through. And being in the group dynamic of Restoring Your Heart, sitting around a table with people who are racially different, socioeconomically different, and age, just, older to younger, I realized that we're all going through similar things. Like, they might have a different backstory, but they have pain just like I have pain. They felt lost just like I felt lost, disappointment, rejection, all those things. And so now when I'm out and about and I want to get upset about the person who just cut me off when I'm driving, or if I'm at the store and somebody rushes past me and I drop all my groceries, I don't feel so offended. It's like, well, I don't know what's going on in her day. And I have more compassion for everybody else that's out there. It's not just about Martina anymore.
Another thing I like to make sure I mention is it really helps in parenting. At least it did for me. Because now, as you start to process all these emotions and you process the reason why you're going through what you're going through, you can see that a lot of it started before you were even aware of it. It may have started when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now it's made me be a more conscious parent. So now there are things I'll say to my kids and it's immediate, oh, I shouldn't say that. Or, oh, let me make sure I'm not causing my child to feel a certain way. Or, it just makes you more aware. The shaming behavior, those
shaming
small
children.
things. You don't even realize it's, hey, being facetious. I'm sure glad you guys cleaned your room today.
Sarcastic, yeah.
Obviously it's not clean. Just all those sarcasms and all those little small things, those nuanced behaviors, we can do as parents. Well, now I start to see how, no, that's affecting them, or it could affect them, so let me not do that.
Yeah, we care now about our kids at a heart level. It's not just about feeding and clothing them, but it's trying to develop emotionally healthy people for the future.
Yes. Emotionally healthy leaders. That's what we want.
Well, before Restoring Your Heart, I was in a lot of pain and I was trying to communicate whatever I was going through to you. And I felt like you were always offended with my emotions, and I couldn't communicate it to you. I couldn't clearly say, like, this is what's going on with me. And after the process, after I went through it and after you went through it, I feel heard. And even though things are not always fixed in the moment, I feel like you are in this marriage with me, working through it with me. Mm-hmm. And that even if we're on the outs for a moment, I know that you are seeking the Lord, trying to figure out how we can get back on the same path. And I like that I'm in this marriage with you, and that we're both out to get the same thing from it, Mm-hmm. I feel loved. I do.
That's good.
And Siapa, I have the same question for you. What do you want to say to Martina?
I feel like now, I guess, similar to what she feels, that we're active participants now. Like, we are both seeking to see the other person, to hear them, to how's your day. All of a sudden now it's not just how's your day, it's I feel like she really cares how my day went, and hopefully she feels that I care how her day is going. And then there are certain things you may carry in your marriage that you don't speak about. You may feel a certain way, but as she was going through this process and as you were going through the class, I remember the moment when you came home and said, hey, I may have been doing this to you. I may have been causing you to feel X, Y, Z, and I apologize. I now see that was unhealthy, and that took a weight off of me because I didn't have the words to express, hey, this is what I'm feeling. I just knew I felt something. But when you were able to come home and say that, for me, it was a release, and it freed me to love her more unconditionally after that.